Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are back with another episode of Lessons with Lindsey Live. It is me, Lindsey AOVA. And tonight I have another super special guest for you, Mr. Marc Graham. Hello, Marc.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yes, Marc, please tell the people who you are and what you do.
I am Marc Graham. I am the CEO and founder of Bean Life Coffee and Telegram Promotions and Marketing. Speak Life Podcast. Wow, it's just so much. Um, but I think I'm here for Bean Life today.
Being like, okay, that's fine, and we can rock with that. So Marc, honestly, through the power of social media, is how I met Marc. We were a mutual friend, completely on Twitter, and we've been rocking ever since. So this is how important networking is. You never know when you meet somebody or where or what might happen. Like we become best buddies. So now we in this thing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the bean. Like let's talk about coffee. Okay, tell the people because I heard the story for the first time a couple of days ago. But I would love for you again to share with everybody how it is that you came to start making your own coffee and selling it.
Okay. Cool. Well, first of all, I'm an avid coffee drinker. I'm pretty sure, like your listeners out there, um, I had to have coffee every day, all day. um, whether if it was espresso or cold brew or iced latte or whatever, hot coffee. Um, I was trying different creamers. I was in Starbucks doing all the refreshers. If it weren't Starbucks, it was Wawa getting free coffee, um, Keurigs, and all that jumpstart stuff. Um, and then I just happened to be in a conference in Tampa, Florida, um, with TD Jakes at a conference there, an actual empowerment and leadership conference for leaders. And we just was there all day long. If you ever been to a conference, it's all day. You leave your hotel. Once you're in the convention center, you're out of town. Um, so you got to kind of take what's there. Um, your restaurants, your food, your hotel. You take what's in that area, whatever in that area. So there was one literally. I'm not exaggerating. There was one coffee stand for the thousands of people that were at the conference, and it had one person working. So we would literally sometimes miss a session to go stand in line or take turns. Like, all right, as soon as this person finished, I'll go stand in line. But by that time, we would say, all right, by the time they finish, hey, you know, we'll come out and switch spots. I got to go to the bathroom. Or that's how long the line was.
Wow.
And while I was away, and you know, uh, if you sit in the um, any TD Jakes messages, you're sitting here hearing him live casting out vision. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think he said, "Whatever you want is yours. You have it. You can obtain it." And I sat there and was like, "I think I'm gonna figure out how to make coffee." And while I was sitting in my hotel room that night, I Googled Instagram. I Googled custom coffee. Um, and when you do custom coffee, you think custom bags. And I was like, nah, I need to figure out how to do the brew, how to do,
Right.
the real. I want my own coffee. And it took a while. It took a while to just research it because I went through, a different lot of companies that were trying to overcharge and trying to make you
Mm-hmm.
pay this and make you pay that. And I was like, no, that's not what I want. Then I found this one company, and that one company was it. And um, they allowed me to pick my flavors. They allowed me to pick my roasts, pick my beans, and all that. And they shipped it out, and I tested it. I was like, no, I don't like this. And people think, you know, have you tried it? Yeah, I just, And I was like, no, I don't like this. So um, I had to resend it out. So the anticipation of what do you like now? And this was pre-COVID, but mail still was running kind of crazy. You wasn't, it wasn't rush delivery, and it wasn't rush delivery because I wasn't um I wasn't in demand for what I was creating. So it's like low key working behind the scenes, working inside.
Right.
So this is all of a month's time, of me waiting to get it, getting it, trying it, and things like that. And then finally, I got the right taste, and I
Mhm.
let some friends taste it. They was like, "Wait a minute," and I tried it in my Keurig. I tried it in regular pots. I tried it in different types of ways to cook it, make it, and brew it, and it worked. And just from there, it just grew. I use my network friends and say, "Hey, come up with a logo for me." And they was like, "Yo, you're doing what?" You know, a lot of times when we tell our friends stuff, you be like, "This is what I'm doing." They like, "Oh, okay."
Right. They don't think about it.
They're like, "Wait, you're doing coffee?" He's like, "Yeah, I got my own coffee." And so that's the initial shock of everybody is, wait a minute, he has his own coffee. Yeah, like I'm not going to Starbucks and selling you coffee. I have my own coffee.
Right.
And that's become a joy. That's become such a highlight. It's just
Yeah.
like, this is my coffee. It's mine. So you wake up in the morning, you can suggest it. Your family reunions, your doctor's appointments. Hey, you want some? You like coffee? And it's so the conversation starters. Coffee is a real conversation starter. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I became Bean Life. And um, if you know me, I love the word life. I I preach and teach life all the time. I'm an advocate for living once, and just once you live in this world, just do all you can.
Mhm.
Conquer anything you can. Never be afraid to try. And that's what I did. I jumped out there and tried it.
I love that. And I love that it's coffee because it's something that you like.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get into business and it's solely because they just want to make money. They want to do
Mm-hmm.
something, they want to be their own boss, they want to make money. And it's not necessarily something that they enjoy or something that they like. It's a quick dollar, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not sitting here saying that there's anything wrong with making your coins. Please do so. But
Yeah.
it's a different kind of feeling when you do
Mm-hmm.
something that you enjoy, when you take pride in your work, when you can talk about it and be like, yeah, this is mine.
Yeah.
Like I do this.
Yeah. I do this.
So I remember I was at an event, honestly, in beginning of 2020, before the world shut down. I was at an event
Uh-huh.
and there was a woman there selling tea. She was a tea vendor. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody was around the table sampling and talking and stuff. And a girl beside me, she was like, I got a friend and he does coffee, his Bean Life coffee. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. Speaking of spaces that you ain't even in, because it was a women's conference. It ain't have nothing to do with anybody's man.
Wow.
So your name was brought up and your coffee was brought up. And I was
You
like,
never
oh,
told me that.
I didn't. I
Oh
didn't.
my
And
God.
I saved it to this moment. I didn't intend to save it to this moment.
Right.
But that was something that I've always wanted to tell you is that I heard your brand before we were even connected like that. Like we were interact online, but we hadn't talked like that. But
Right.
when someone said that, I was like, I know who that is. I
Wow.
follow them. Like we're cool. So
Right.
it was awesome to see, to hear your brand before even hearing it from you.
Yeah.
That's the power of like networking, having people in your corner that. And
Yeah.
then when you have those clients and you have that product, they gonna tell folks about it. They gonna
Yeah.
tell everybody and their mom. Like we weren't even talking about coffee. The girls, another person at the table was saying something like they didn't really drink tea, like they needed their coffee fix in the morning. Dot dot dot. And being in a predominantly black space, of course, we're trying to be all black owned, and so
Yeah.
you were brought up, and that was like one of the. I was like, look at that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
go you. Check you out.
thanks, Lindsay. Oh my gosh, man.
So let's talk about that though. You are a black owned coffee company.
Yeah.
How do you feel that that works to your advantage?
Um. It's this is hard to say because I'm gonna be honest. I've had people say, "Don't say black owned."
Mm,
Um. I've had because it was a sketchy topic, because it's just coffee and just
right.
um. But nobody wants to, you don't say black owned hairstyle. You don't say black owned. So it's like black owned cars dealership, or you don't say that, and that's the market, the market you want to reach. Um, they tend to shy away from that, but now I love it.
Mm,
I love it. I see with and I follow them. Black and Bold from Target, two brothers that are huge doing the protests and things like that. Their
Mm-hmm.
coffee is now sold in Target, and I'm like, yo, I don't envy them. I admire them for their
Right.
hustle, and it's like this is what I want to do. You know, get me in some stores, put me in.
Yeah.
You know, I love Target. I shop at Target all the time.
Target's
Um,
good for you.
but there are other stores, that I could go in, that I could be in, and the market is open for everybody now.
It is.
So it may not be my time to be at Target, but I could be at your Walgreens. I could be at your
Mm-hmm.
Kroger or local Kroger store, Food Line. It feels great. It honestly feels like a sense of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like
It
that.
feels, it feels like a sense of accomplishment. Um, like you getting married, getting graduation, or earning a degree, or overcoming a fear or something like that. It's that sense of accomplishment, and it's like, yo, I did this. You know,
Right.
and I would literally sit back and say, I have my own coffee. Like, I really have my own coffee. So,
Right.
um, it's humbling. It's humbling, and it's fun because, like you say, I don't know people are talking about me. You know,
Right.
I don't know that. So when you hear that in a room of where you're not at, it's like, yo, this is really working. This is really, you know, going on. This is really good for me, and I appreciate that. So I think that's what it is. It's more humbling than anything.
I love that. I really do. So, how long has Being Life been a business? How long have you been in business with Being Life?
Um, the conference was in 2019.
Okay.
Started developing stuff. Um, so I think I started doing stuff over that summer, 2019 summer. Um, I came home from that conference right around this time actually. Um, and so all summer I was doing stuff, just developing it. And so I think by June or July, I had kind of had it in people's hands, and it was like, taste this, and they was like, wait, this is not just no regular coffee. This is real good coffee.
This is
So
something.
I'll give it June or July.
Okay.
And then, of course, with the pandemic, everything slowed down. But then with the pandemic, everything picked up.
Right.
So, because people like their own coffee at their own house.
They do. And I think that um I'm trying not to say what we talked about on Monday because
Right,
everybody wasn't there. But
right,
I
right.
think that, people were looking. They were looking for something different. They were looking to support. They were looking to just do something new, especially in the pandemic. It's like, well, let me just see what else is out here. I literally have nothing else to do. Let me see what else is out here. So, how do you feel like since pre-pandemic to now, your business has evolved?
Um, there are moments when I feel like it hasn't grown at all,
Hmm.
and
That's
then
real.
there are moments where I feel like, oh my god, I, I'm what's happening? Hold on, slow down. You know, my mind is constantly going. If you know me personally, my mind just goes. I am
Hmm.
probably the craziest thinker that you ever. If somebody was just to see the stuff in my head, sometimes they'd be like, wait, hold on. But my mind is constantly going. I'm trying to learn how to bridge all the gaps of everything that I have. How can I tie this into this? How can I tie this into this? Um, and it's shameless plug. I have a podcast, and
Hmm.
I was always looking for sponsors. Hey, and then finally it clicked and said, "This podcast is brought to you by Bean Life Coffee." And it clicked. I was like, "This is your avenue for the people
Hmm.
who make drink coffee but are listening to podcasts." So it was, hey, all right, now they're googling what is Bean Life. You know,
Right.
so I had to market all my tools. I had to just keep going and find that road of success that was my level until I was happy. And if I said this the other week or this week, if you're not doing something that's um, making you think you're crazy or losing your mind, you know what I'm saying? You're
Right.
doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, what can I do? What can I do? And that's my sense of accomplishment in it all. To answer the question, feeling like this is what I'm doing, man. And hearing
Mm-hmm.
stories like this, like with you, man, that really like boosted me. You know, that helped me out. That pushed me, and you know, sitting in the network events, and it's like, oh, this is not even um, not even there for me, but people say, oh, have you met Marc Graham?
Right.
Coffee, and I'm like, oh, you know, and it starts a conversation and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it's been put in schools, it's been put in doctors' offices, it's been put in camps, and put in, you know, different church events and things like that, and you know, small little networking events and stuff, where they like business meetings say, hey, my coffee first trial, I think honestly, was at NASA.
Wow.
A friend of mine worked at NASA, was like, hey, we drink Bean Life this morning. I was like, wow.
That's
You,
awesome.
you know, so hey, who can say that their coffee, their product is in NASA, in the NASA meeting with
Right?
some of the top officials and things like that. So, you know, yeah.
Those are those little moments. Like I know we talk a lot about like entrepreneurship and business and stuff, but just in general, like when you are doubting yourself, or when you might be questioning, like, am I doing right? Am I on the right path? Are things falling into place? Like this might not be for me. You
Yeah.
you hear those things, you know, you get that
Yeah.
boost. Someone tells you so randomly out of nowhere, like, oh yeah, so and
Yeah.
so happened, or you get a random email and it's
Yeah.
like, I want 100 orders, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had that happen where it's like 10 orders and I'm like, why is my phone going off? You know, because I was like, oh, I have an order. Oh, that's an order. You know, so um, it's just exciting, man. This whole road is exciting.
I love it, and I know you. I know you're here for Being Life. I understand, but for 1 second, I do want to talk about the podcast because it's a part of who you are. It's a part of
Yeah,
your journey. It's a part of the life brand, if you will. Like you, that's what you do.
yeah.
So can we just talk about it for a second? Can you tell the people about it?
Yeah, I have a Speak Life podcast. Lyfe. If you ever referring to me, do not spell it with Life. I take highly offense to that. I'm just but some people know that's Graham. It's my trademark. It's my brand. Lyfe, and I can't go into the whole story. That'd be to take up all your show of how that all came about. Um, but it's just I knew that with my past experiences in life, um, I had the voice and the platform to encourage somebody and speak life. You know, because my past experience is that you never know when it's your last time.
Mm-hmm.
So the last impact that I have on your life or encounter, I wanted to be a positive one.
Yeah.
So, and it's every chance you get, speak life. If it's something simple, you ever had a bad day and somebody you don't know, just say, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And that moment changes you, and
Yeah. Makes you
it
feel
changes
better.
it changed your mood. It's like, yo, hold on, I didn't realize. Thank you. You know, hey, I
Yeah.
like your earrings. Hey, I like your shirt. I like your shirt and shoes. You know, it builds your confidence. To somebody that's battling with depression or battling with, you know, being down or hurt or think, hey, I love you, man. Somebody probably never even heard the words "I love you," but you
Mm-hmm.
said it that day. They're going to remember that you saved their life. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's Speak Life, man. And I have shows. You've been a guest where I just come in and make people be inspired, hearing their stories, stories of inspiration. I've had some of my greatest friends come up there and talk talk about being married, talk about their success in their businesses, such as you. And I've had groups come up there. I,
Mm.
it's crazy. I have literally recorded a podcast in the middle of Howard Theater, in the backstage at Howard Theater with the
Wow.
group, with some friends. And they was like, "Yo, let's talk. Let's do a podcast." I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go." And so promoting their album and just talking about their meaning. So it's been a great experience, man, because again, you don't think people are listening. You don't think
Mm-hmm.
you have the downloads. You don't have the replays that you think you have, but then somebody will text you or post something and say, hey, they'll quote you. They'll quote you and be like, oh man, I said that.
Right.
You
It's
know,
like, dang, that's good.
there I'm just as transparent as I can be.
Mm-hmm.
I if you know me, I love to tell the truth about what I've been through and my struggles. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or things like that, and that's what Speak Life is, man. And we are on Apple, iTunes, and Amazon. One of the first Amazon just start launching podcasts, and we was one of the first ones selected to
Wow.
be on Amazon podcast. And we're on. We was on iHeartRadio. I took it off of that. Ran into some discrepancies and stuff in Spotify. So yeah, that's it, man. This is who I am, man. This is me.
But I love that. I feel like it's so important, and especially now more than ever, to be honest, to be
Yeah.
truthful, to say what it is and what it isn't. And then going even back a little bit from when you talk about, just leaving a positive impact on people.
Yeah.
I set out to do that. And like, especially because I work in the school setting, I get to greet kids as they come in the building, and I'm always spewing out compliments because it just makes their day. It gets them started on the right foot. They feel more confident walking into the building. Like, if you, oh my God, look at your little unicorn shoes. You look so cute. And then they feel good. I do it to the teachers. I do it to everybody. I set out to make people feel good because then everyone else, when everyone feels good, things run so much smoother.
Yeah.
People aren't all up in arms. They're not
Yeah.
defensive. They feel like they can talk to you, and you never know who you're impacting. Like you said, you never know whose day you made or who you're impacting with your words or just being there. I've complimented somebody and it turned into an hour-long conversation because they just needed somebody to talk to. And
Yeah.
then being transparent, that is what we all need,
Yeah.
especially right now. Like in
Yeah.
our country, across the board, from the highest level of government down to just your neighbor. You have to be honest with people, and it's not a thing to bring people down or anything, but it's just being out there. If someone asks you how your day is and you're not doing that good, you're like, I'm not doing that great today. They might say, okay, or they might ask you why, and you might be able to get it off your chest, but be honest with folks. Because then people know, like, she's not having that great of a day. I might not bother her, or whatever the case may be. So I'm always about the transparency.
Yeah.
So that was my 1 minute. I appreciate you doing that plug for the
Oh,
podcast. Going back, right? Because it's all you. It's all the things that you do.
Yeah.
So outside of the business, because I do like to talk about just life. Outside of being the life brand, what do you do? What do you enjoy? Like, and in your day to day, what does that look like?
Oh man. What do I do? Um, I love kids. Um, and most people don't even know this. I used to work in the school system, um, but because of COVID and all things, I was one of the ones that was let go in the school and decided, I ain't gonna say not to go back, but high risk and things like that. Um, so I became a nanny.
Okay.
I became a nanny, and I love my babies. I do all day, and they love me. I'm a god. I don't have no kids, so I have godchildren and mentees that called me. One called me today just to talk, and nieces and nephews. Um, I just love life, man. I love having fun. I'm in this. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter or anything, I'm into skating now. Getting
Yeah.
back to skating, and so trying not to fall. I know how to skate, but I'm not good as like the road bounce guys.
You're not out there backward skating and stuff.
I don't know how to do that, but I'm trying to go like on the days when there's not a bunch of people there. But and again, it goes back to if I never have this, at least I tried.
Right.
At least I tried to learn how to backward skate versus um, not trying at all. So
Right.
that's what I do. I love community services and in church and music. I love, as you can tell, I love music. Um, promoting music. I used to write music. I haven't written in a while, but um, so it just, I just, I just love life, man. Just love life, living it to the fullest, to the best that I can, and creating memories, and not,
Yeah.
creating memories and not stuck in moments. I always say that. So,
That's important though. That's real. I know for me, like with this pandemic especially, I kind of rediscovered the kid in me. Like I started doing stuff that I used to do as a kid. I started having fun again because it was important. Like we were trapped in the house. There was nothing to do. I'm like, we gonna go outside. Y'all want to have a water gun fight? Let's go do this. Let's go do that. To the point that it's a part of my everyday, or at least once, twice a week. I got to do something fun. I have to act like
yeah,
a kid for a little bit because
yeah,
life gets hectic and it gets heavy, and you get tired and overwhelmed, and you forget for like the whole week that you will have a life. That it's
yeah,
okay to have fun. It's allowed. Like
yeah.
you
No,
to enjoy things.
I think right before I got my skates, I saw you with your skates, and I was like, yo. And I got a couple other friends, that having them. I'm like, man, ain't about skating, because you'll always have that person that's like, what you buying skates for? Or what you getting skates?
Always,
You know,
always a hater, always a doubter in the midst.
it's like, man, this one. If I fall, I fall.
Right? Why not?
That's what you're made to do. You're expected to fall in skates.
Right.
So but you're expected also to get up and try again. And
Exactly.
that's the whole thing. That was good. Now that was good.
Write that one down.
Yeah, but you just keep trying and till you do it all, man. Until you
So,
reach level of success.
in case y'all missed that, he said you should expect to fall, but you should also expect to get up and try again. Did I get that right?
Yes,
Quote
yes.
Marc Graham. Okay. If you
I
see
can't
that,
see that comment. I don't know if nobody's commenting or not, so I can't see.
so don't talk about my setup. People, my comments are delayed and sometimes they're a little bit janky, but we're not gonna talk about that
Gotcha.
because people still watch. Okay, we still
Right,
get views, and that's what matters.
right.
But that's a life lesson. You're
Yeah,
gonna fall. You're going to fall. Things are gonna go wrong. They're gonna go south. They're not gonna work out the way you planned them to work out. But you still have to get back up. You still have to try again. You have to go for it, especially if it's your purpose. Especially if it's your
yeah,
why. Like you can't just get knocked down and stay down if
yeah,
it's what you're supposed to be doing, if it's what's in your heart to do. That's doing a disservice to yourself, and that's denying the world of your greatness. Like we
yeah.
can't be out here doing that. So that's
Right.
one of the biggest things that I tell people all the times. Like you can't let being knocked down keep you down. Because it's
Yeah,
gonna happen. Expect to fail. Fail often. And when
right.
you do, just figure out what you did wrong and get back to it.
Yeah,
Like that's a lesson right there. Oh, okay, don't go this way because that's not gonna work. Now we're gonna go this way because that's probably gonna work because we know that way does not for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, in regards to being life, what's next? What do you want? Where do you want it to go? What do you have planned, or what do you envision happening?
You sound like one of my mentors. Um, one of my good friends. What's next? My ultimate goal. Um, I said this the other night, and again, I don't want to say what we said the other night, but competition. I say this. I would say this. Comparison kills.
Mm-hmm.
Comparison kills. Jonathan McReynolds, that guy right there, right there. Somewhere.
Right there.
He wrote a song called "Comparison Kills," and it's like you find yourself comparing yourself to everybody around
Mhm.
you in your industry, in your vein, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do that because they did that, or
Mhm.
they did that already, they did this already, and every you become sensitive
Mhm.
to what you see, so you're like, dang, they posted a picture, you know, and you find yourself not working, and that's where I found myself.
Yeah.
That's just being honest. Um, And most entrepreneurs don't want to admit that stuff. And most people, you just sit there and like, dang, they posted that. All it was is a coffee mate creamer.
Right.
It was 20 other ones behind you in the grocery store. Use my Kroger points, get a free one. So I mean, it's um, don't I got caught up in comparison. So
Okay.
I said I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to do it no more. And then when I said that, I didn't know what I wanted next. But now I hit that reset button. It's like, oh, this is what I want. So to answer your question, I just had to throw that out there because it was being. You got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I want a store. I want um, a store where people can come in and just chill and feel the vibe, and just be themselves. If they want to have a meet and have a little meeting, if they want to meet a girlfriend for a date, meet. I want to be a first. We had our first date at Bean Life. You know what I'm saying? That's how I picture my shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I came in and the owner just talked to me, about, whatever. Yo, the owner prayed for me. Yo, cause I don't mind praying for hey, it just, or the owner gave me free food, cause that's just my heart.
Yeah.
If I got it and I can have by means give it to you, I'm going to try my best to, get it to you. If not, I'm gonna try to lead you in some kind of direction.
Yeah.
Music, hopefully I can get my boys, in there to come in and, sit down and play a set one time. If I feel like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna clock out and record this podcast. This is what I want to do. Y'all gonna be on my show. And that's another thing that I did. Even going back to the podcast is I listened to podcasts for about 2 months straight
Mm-hmm.
before I even launched mine and said, this
Mm-hmm.
is what I want, off a comparison. This is how, and people's like, well, why you got noise in the background? Because I want you to hear the authentic,
Right.
you know? And so that's what I want to do. I want to open up my own store, increase my sales, um, launch different launch different flavors, do vending more pop ups shops. Now, and that's what happened too. COVID happened, so it allowed. I had crazy artists. I ordered. I was out of the country, but ordered like cups and materials. COVID happened, so I had
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of cups. I had a bunch of stirrers. I had a bunch of mugs where we didn't know we was gonna be gone. I had mugs. We didn't know we was gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't go to the. We literally couldn't go to the post office.
Right.
So I can't go ship it out. I couldn't, So um, that's the downside. But now that we're up and running again, and I'm shipping to California, Florida, Delaware,
Yes.
Texas, Colorado. So it's just and there's people. Sometimes people I don't even know. Like,
That's
hey, some people say I've had people say I don't need to drink coffee, but I'm going to get the coffee for you. So that's where we're at now is getting back out here and pushing the name, the brand more, and pushing it, networking more with different people, not only on Instagram and our websites and stuff like that. Um, just pushing the brand so we can get a store so you can come in and do shows like this, and just sit down and do shows like this anytime you want.
yes. I love that. I love that.
First cup of coffee is on me.
Hey, hold you to it. Like you
Right.
remember you said that my coffee was on you.
Right.
No, but I love that. I think that is so dope. So this is my new question that I pose to all the folks that come on the show because we are Lessons with Lindsey Live. So you
Okay.
have to tell me, what is your greatest life lesson and how has it impacted you?
Oh, I almost got watery eyed. Wow. Um, this is hard. I use my favorite quote, one of my favorite
Okay.
quotes, and I hope I answer your question. If not, I answer it. Moments don't last forever, and so don't get caught up in the moment.
Mm.
They don't last forever. Um, a lot of times, this is a hard question. This is good. My greatest lesson is don't, you live once, you know, do all you can while you're living. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you never know. Um, Boy, I wish I had one more yeah. Um, you just never know when it's your last time. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: I've been there when it was my
Mm.
time, and yeah. So you get a second chance, yo, go for it. Just do all you can. Go for it, man. If you say you want to ride your bike, I'm in a 10K challenge now. A 10 mile, 10,000 steps a day in
Wow.
10 days. I haven't reached all them days every day. I haven't reached all them steps. But guess what? I feel accomplished.
Yeah.
The 7,000 that I got. Because I did out of the days that we're in, I think we're on day 7 or 8. I reached 10,000 one time. I felt accomplished.
Yeah.
So um, every moment that you do is an accomplishment. You know. So I hope I answered the question.
You did. You did.
I did.
You did.
I feel like I
You,
did.
because that is real. And I think that sometimes people they don't they take for granted the small things, you know, that you got home, that you woke up, that your lights were working, that you had water, that you have the job, whether you don't like it or not, you have the job. And there are people out there getting turned down every hour on the hour looking for what you have, working so hard for the things that we take for granted. So no, that's perfect. That's it right there. Like you have to take advantage of all the things,
Mm-hmm.
not just one, not just whatever. And you can't let the doubt or the fear hold you back because it's gonna be there. It's there.
Yeah.
You know, I move with all the confidence in the world, but I still doubt myself sometimes. I still question the decisions that I'm making or that I've made or whatever the case may be. You know, we get that Virgo thing. So, like you
Yeah.
said before, our minds move
Listen,
constantly.
I really forgot you was a Virgo.
You see, look, see, that's why you know what you should know better.
Now it's all making sense. Okay.
Yes, I get it, and it's like I do things because it's like why not? But then after I do it, I'm like, ooh, this might not work. So like, yeah, you get fearful, you get a little doubtful, but you gotta still do it because it could work. It could be the best thing you've ever done in your life, and it's not necessarily a monetary gain, but it could be the greatest moment in your life from just taking that chance. Like you said, 10K steps, and even if you only did 6 steps, you did 6 steps. That's 6 steps more than you would have done yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, that's 6 steps more than you would have done if you were just sitting at home on your couch. So you have always got to feel proud
Proud.
of,
Yeah.
of the little things.
Mm-hmm.
It makes everything so much more enjoyable. Like when you just like, oh, I did that. I made
Yeah.
my bed this morning.
Yeah.
My outfit look cute. I'm on time for work today. Like, you know, all those are small victories. And it makes you feel good about yourself. So then when you make the big decisions, your confidence is already on 1,000. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I love it. You answered that question perfectly.
Wow. Thank
Please, you're welcome. Tell the people how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Telegram PR GRAHAMPR LLC. Uh, Bean Life Coffee LYFE. Remember that LYFE.
F-E.
On the website www. I said that again, but I say inside joke.
Mark is in 1999, y'all. He don't know that
Uh,
people
um,
don't even type in www anymore.
yeah. So beanlifecoffee.com. Um, World Wide Web, Al Gore's internet.
Yes.
You know, so that's where I'm at, man. And I respond. Speak Life podcast. We're up there on Apple iTunes, Amazon. So like, subscribe, rate. You know, listen to a couple of shows. Haven't recorded in a while. I've been kind of busy, but yeah, just listen to me up there and talk and rant. I don't rant, but you get some inspiration from some things, man. And that's where I'm at, man. And I'm so reachable, you know,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at, man. And
I'm
of course,
good.
you can find me on Facebook at
Yep.
Marc Graham.
I love it. I love all the things you do. I love why you do the things you do, how you move. Like, I think that you're so inspirational, whether you intend to be or not. You are very inspirational. You're very, like you said, you're transparent. I think you set out to spread joy and spread light, and you do it. You do it well. Like, if you follow him on Twitter, this is a funny dude. Okay, he you don't know what to say sometimes, and it's hilarious. And I'm always here for it. Mark will have you crying, like, dude, leave me alone.
Sorry. I mean, but and the thing a lot of people say is, if you know me, you read the tweets in my voice.
Yeah.
You're like, he meant that. He didn't. He really meant that. But yeah, so.
I'm here for it. I'm here for you, and I want you to know if no one else has told you today or this week, I'm so proud of you.
Oh
And
my
all the things that you do, all the things that you've accomplished, you will have that store. I'm going to be looking for my cup of coffee on you. We're going to have to do some shows there. It's going to be so dope, and I can't wait to see it come to life. I do mean that.
yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
So
you're
that was
welcome.
that I'm watery eyed. I'm glad
Ah,
COVID got that. The COVID. You know, misty eyes. It's like, ooh, I felt that. I felt that energy. I
yes,
appreciate
I
it.
mean that from the heart.
Thank you.
That is our show this week, you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you like and subscribe Lindsey A of VA on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. I love to spread motivation, empowerment, and give y'all these lessons. Make sure you tune in next week at Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I'll be here, and I hope that you are too. See y'all later.